I ain't got up at 6 o'clock in the morning just to come here looking cute. I ain't got up at 6 o'clock in the morning just to throw on a hat, just to step in here like I'm at a fashion show. But I came here because I've got something that God needs from me. I came here. My day won't be complete until I give him some praise. My dinner won't be complete until I give him some praise. My turkey won't smell good, won't taste good, even after I break my fast, if I don't give him what I got to give him. Look at somebody and say, I came here to give him something, and I can't go home until I give it to him. And so with excitement and urgency, they said, we've got to bring him our gift. And 16:3 says they began to press their way to the tomb, and as they were pressing their way to the tomb, as they traveled, they pondered the question. They began to talk amongst themselves. Who will roll away the stone from the door of the tomb for us? Who's going to remove this stone away? A stone, Proverbs 27:3 says, a stone was heavy, a stone was weighty. Isaiah chapter 8 verse 14 says a stone was like a stumbling block. And so these sister girls are talking amongst themselves saying, when we get there, who's going to remove this heavy stone? When we get there, who's going to remove this weighty stumbling block? When we get there, who's going to remove all the opposition that's in our way? When we get there, who's going to remove the obstacles in our way? When we get there, who's going to remove that thing that's separating me from the love of God? When we get there, who's going to remove all these hindrances that's blocking my path to get to my Jesus? But I like their faith. These girls had radical to die for faith. These women said it's a stumbling block there, but you know what? We're going to walk by faith and not by sight. We just believe that when we get there, whatever needs to be removed out the way so I can give God some praise, it's going to be removed out the way. And I think that somebody here this morning came here and said, I've got some stones in my own lives, but I refuse to let the stones stop me from giving God some praise. Somebody here says, I got a stone of unemployment that I'm dealing with, but I refuse to not having a job keep me from giving God some praise. Somebody came here this morning and say, I ain't got no $50 to give in a sacrificial offering, but I ain't gonna let that stop me from giving God some praise. Somebody said, I ain't got no new Easter suit. I don't have no hat and matching shoes. I don't have no brand new suit. I don't even have a new shirt or tie on, but I'm still gonna go there and give him some praise. I'm still gonna bless his holy name. Is there anybody here this morning say, I came here for one reason only? That's to send up some praise. That's to send up a shout. Oh, is there anybody here this morning on this resurrection day that says, I came here to give him some praise? High five somebody and say, neighbor, I don't know what you came to do, but I came to give him some praise. I came to bless his holy name. Oh, God, I got to slow this train down. This ain't the express, y'all. So they begin to ask themselves, who will remove this heavy stone? And scholars debate the reasoning behind the question. Some scholars say this was a question of anxiety. Who will roll the stone away? Other scholars say it was a question of anticipation. Who will be there when we get there to roll the stone away? But then somebody else said it was a question of authority. Who is powerful enough to roll away this stumbling block? Who is mighty enough to roll away this heavysome burden? Who is mighty enough to roll this obstacle out of my way? Who is powerful and mighty enough to roll away some great heavy, some great weighty, burdensome stumbling block so I can press my way and see Jesus. Well, whatever question it was not a question of doubt. They believed that someone, some way, somehow would roll the stone away. And so they had determined they're going to walk by faith and not by sight. And they refused to allow any stone to deter them from coming into the presence of the Lord. I came here this morning to tell somebody, don't let your stone stop you from coming into the presence of the Lord. Whatever you're dealing with, whatever you're going through, don't let it stop you from coming into the presence of the Lord. If you have a stone of unforgiveness, don't let it stop you from coming into the presence of the Lord. If you have a stone of bitterness, don't let it stop you from coming into the presence of the Lord. If you have a stone of confusion, don't let it stop you from coming into the presence of the Lord. If you have a stone of depression, don't let it stop you from coming into the presence of the Lord. But make up your mind on this resurrection day. I refuse to let anything hinder me from coming into the presence of the Lord. Is there anybody here this morning that says, I came here to not only praise him, but I came here wanting to be in his presence? What 16:4 says, but when they looked up, oh God, you missed it, y'all. 16:4 says, but when they looked up, I'll tell your neighbor, when they looked up, the text says, but when they looked up, they saw that the stone had been rolled away. Y'all missed it. Y'all missed it. Y'all missed it. Y'all missed it. I got to use my spiritual imagination. Here these sister girls, they're walking and they're talking. They're walking by faith. But the text suggests that perhaps just maybe they were walking with their head down. But the moment they stopped looking down and decided to look up, they saw that the thing that they were worrying about had already been rolled away. Oh, y'all didn't come to praise him this morning. Somebody, you've been walking around with your head down too long, worrying about how I'm going to pay my car notes, worrying about where I'm going to get the kids' education money from, worrying about how I'm going to put food on my table. You've been walking around with your head down, but I declare on this Resurrection Sunday, if you could just lift up your head, oh ye gates, you would discover that the thing you've been worrying about, God has already rolled it away. I wish somebody would high five somebody and say, neighbor, stop worrying about that stone. Neighbor, stop your tripping. Neighbor, stop your worrying about it. Neighbor, come out your depression. Neighbor, stop being oppressed, because the thing you worrying about, God has already worked it out. God has already taken care of it. Is there anybody here this morning say, I ain't got to wait till the battle is over, but I'm a shout right now, because victory is mine. I'm going to walk by faith and not by sight, because whatever I need is going to be there when I need it. Wherever I'm going, he will make a way out of no way. Shake your neighbor's hand and say, neighbor, stop your worrying about it. God gonna take care of it. Find one more neighbor, say, neighbor, stop your worrying about it, because God is going to take care of it. When they got there, the stone had been rolled away. As soon as they looked up, they realized that the heavysome, that the burdensome anxiety and anticipation that they had on the inside had been dealt with. They looked up and saw that God had already fixed it. I want to tell somebody, while you praising God this morning, he's rolling your stone away. I don't know what problem you left home with this morning, but I declare you walk by faith, I declare, if you send up a praise, while you praise him, he'll roll your stone away. If you want him to move it,